Hello and welcome back for your next daily dose of LOL Esports content, where I'm going to cover the games that took place in the LPL and LCK today, as well as preview tomorrow's schedule. Predictions went 5-0 on the day, as we had 5 2-0s. First, Thunder Talk into Anyone's Legend. So AL win 2-0. Shanks 9-1-14, 31% of damage. Krakow 5-1-17 in the jungle. 1XN 0-4-6, 27% of damage in the loss. So, game one, well, honestly, both games were not blowouts. Anyone's Legend only up about 1 to 1.5K at the first tower falling. Game one, about 16 minutes. They're up 1.5, 20 CS lead for Shanks in mid lane, 12 CS lead for the bot lane of Thunder Talk. However, clearly, Anyone's Legend were stronger. Beshwan got a couple early kills for Thunder Talk, and that would happen again in game two. But that's not where you want your gold, right? I think he played Xin Zhao game one, and they played J4 game two. And that's just not where you want it to be. Harry on the Udyr solo killed Hoya in game one. I think you can make a case for Harry being MVP of this series, as well as Shanks or Krakow. Shanks on the Azir had a solo kill as well. Early game, Krakow was able to secure both Drakes and the Grub spawn before laning phase ended. And it was, I mean, pretty much the Udyr and Shanks show after that. Harry and Shanks, Udyr and Azir. Game 2, 15-15, 1K gold lead for Anyone's Legend. CS Diffie's not that big of a deal. Thunder Talk went mid lane a couple times. Beshwan doing work on the J4. However, Harry on the Gnar was not going to be denied in top lane. Very strong in team fights. Cal on the Nautilus, 100% KP as the farming Nautilus through the mid game. And then we have Krakow on the Xin Zhao, very impactful in both games. On the Xin Zhao in game two and game one. Like I said, I thought Beshwan was on the Xin Zhao. I'm trying to remember what Krakow was on in game one. Maybe a Rao, Viego. Regardless, game two, Krakow got things done. Obviously tanked in team fights on the Xin Zhao, and was solid. Hope had some moments in this one, but at the same time, not enough to end up on my board. OMG Rare Adam, OMG win 2-0. Abel 3-0-24, 30% of damage. You would think that was a support KDA. Angel 11-1-12 in mid. Vikla 1-8-5, 31% of damage in the loss. Game one, Rare Adam were out to an early lead, about 1.2k gold at 10:30. Very short laning phase. 37 CS lead for the bot lane of Asun and Zora. But they couldn't turn it into anything as Zhao Feng on the Viego, very strong, into his former teammate Nayu. Now playing on Rare Adam. Both of them were on top Esports Challenger. And Nayu actually took Zhao Feng's job last year. And he got the better of him on the Viego in both games. He was MVP, as he and Milky Way are going to be battling for quite a while for that all-pro jungler spot as far as rookies are concerned. Very strong player in, maybe he was on, was he on the, I thought he was on Viego in game one. Was he just on Viego in game two? Is Xin Zhao in game one? I feel like I miswrote that. Regardless, very strong. That's it. The champion written down is not indicative of much more than me just trying to tell you what champion he played. He was strong. Abel on the Senna, 100% KP. I believe he ended up duoing with the top laner, which I thought was interesting. We saw that a couple times today in the LPL, as the Senna would go top to farm souls off of the melee opposition. And I wonder how much we'll see of that going forward in all of LOL Esports. Is that going to be the trick now? Are we going to role swap, make the duo go top to try and get some advantages in a 2v1 situation? Are we going to see more champions that kind of can put up with that under turret? I know that we've seen that in the past. Zhao Zhu on the Aatrox did fight back in the mid game, had a quadra kill on, like I said, on the Aatrox in that mid game team fight, but Angel on the way started raining down damage, and they really didn't have any answer. Abel with the Senna, Zhao Feng very strong, and I mean, Cube was kind of behind. I mean, Cube was kind of under the radar in this one, but very impactful nonetheless. Game 2 was a blowout at 14 minutes. OMG are up 5k gold. 12 CS lead in the bot lane was the biggest diffy, but they had both all the grubs in this series in general between games 1 and game 2, and that allowed them to just mow down turrets. Abel on the DiStefano, a 2v2 kill. Angel on Twisted Fate. Like clockwork, making things happen. Honestly, he is one of those players historically that I think of when I think of Twisted Fate and playing it well. He knows I have a champion that needs to get around the rift and affect the game, and instead of farming. And I thought that he was a massive difference maker. And then Zhao Feng on the Viego, getting work done, gapping the opposition. I thought he, like I said, I thought he was MVP. He played excellent. Last series, Ninja in Pajamas EDG. Nip would win 2-0. Rookie 10-3-29, 29% of damage. Photic 20 kills and 3 deaths, 11 assists. Fisher 4-7-10, 31% of damage in the loss. Game 1, Nip had about a 2.2k gold lead of 14-30. 19 CS lead in top lane, 10 CS lead in the jungle. So Shanji getting the better of solo kill. JJ not getting a lot done, to be honest. Aki outpacing him. Aki on the Xin Zhao in game 1. Let's see, early game, Zhuo on the Nautilus, hitting a lot of hooks. He even went mid lane and hit a couple hooks. That was obviously important. We don't see, I mean, I feel like we don't see the roaming support enough. Like I'm saying, it's important that he went mid. It's important that he's going around the rift. And even, you know, like I said, who was it in the previous series? Cal also did that for Anyone's Legend. Photic on the Varus, securing kills. He got 20 kills because he was securing kills. Not necessarily stealing them, but in both games, he was just like that far back line, just shooting arrows at the enemy and getting kills. I mean, honestly, I didn't think he was that crazy of a player, but there were a couple doubles. I think there's even a couple triples in there this series. The Snake on Senna did respond in game 1 with a couple kills himself. EDG able to fight back a bit. But Aki on the Xin Zhao, so, you know, calming things down. Fisher on the Azir fought back again around a Baron fight. And in the end, Shanji on the Udyr ended the game by backdooring and saying this is not going to happen. I mean, he tried it multiple times and got it done because they could not stop the Udyr, as it's a super OP pick when it's in the side lane, and when it's got a couple grubs, it's really hard to kill the Udyr. Game 2, 16-30, 2k gold lead for Nip, 22 CS lead for Rookie, 25 CS lead for the bot lane of Ninja Pajamas. JJ on the Brand had like over half of the team's damage in this one, as he just tried his damnedest, couldn't get it done. Rookie on the Orianna getting all the early kills for Nip, when JJ got all the early kills for EDG, and the Orianna was just, you know, able to keep that up longer, as you could imagine. I think he had like 7 of the first 9 kills or something. Rookie very strong and ended up being MVP because of it. And once JJ kind of fizzled out and they took him out of the game, EDG really didn't have much going for themselves. Photic on the Varus, once again, doing what he did in game 1, securing kills. Just securing kills. Like, it wasn't much more to really be said about game 2. Game 2 was pretty lopsided. LCK, D plus Kia, Fear X, D plus win 2-0. Showmaker, 11-5-22, 33% of damage. Aiming, 18-2 and 22 at 80 carry. Henna, 6-8-6, 27% of damage in the loss. Both of these games tied at the end of laning phase. Game 1 about 19 minutes long before the first turret falls. 13 CS lead for Kingen, who had a solid series. 13 CS lead for Closer, as Fear X took a couple grub spawns. Aiming on the Senna, getting things done. High KP. Closer on the Yone responds with a couple kills himself, and it seemed like maybe he could turn this one around. However, Showmaker on the Azir with weird ruins. He went Grasp, which definitely drew the ire of the casters and many others in the Discord. Ended up dealing a lot of damage, and they struggled to kill him. So I don't know, you could argue if it worked or not. Obviously, there's optimization things, but at the same time, was it passable? Yeah, I mean, they won 2-0, and he dealt a lot of damage, despite taking ruins where you necessarily aren't trying to deal damage. Henna on the Varus did much better in Game 1 than Game 2 in terms of the entirety of the game. Did respond, getting a couple kills himself. Willer on the Sejuani stole a Baron, which allowed VRX to kind of creep back into the game. But Kingen on the Gnar said, no, we're not going to do this, and had some nice ultis and some team fights in the mid to late game and in the very late game. Got a couple kills. I think he may have even had a triple kill in that one to secure the win. Game 2, 13-30 when laning phase ended. Kingen up 32 CS on the TF into clear. Now Henna and Execute up 33 into D+'s bot lane as Henna on the Kalista had a 2v2 kill. Execute on the Renata. Kalista-Renata, obviously a good bot duo, and that resulted in the first 2 Drakes. Lucid ends up taking the first 2 Grubs, and he was all over the place in the early game on the Rel. Definitely one of his better champions thus far. Seeing him play, it is kind of funny because he's the one that I really am high on in terms of being a prospect, and he is slightly younger than the LPL supports, junglers we've been talking about. But I feel like the LPL supports have surpassed him, at least in how well they've done thus far. What do I have under that? Aiming on the Varus. Ended up turning things around. Had a lot of kills. Yeah, I mean, hell, he ends up with, what did I say, 18 kills. So, I mean, he found a way to say, okay, well, although I ended up in a hole in the early game, dug himself out. Clear on the Aatrox would get a solo kill, but Showmaker on the Azir with some nice Emperor Divides and some shuffles and things of that nature. In team fights, he was just looking like Showmaker of old. Like, wow, okay, well, he's just aiming these kills on a silver platter time and time and time again. And it's ironic because he was taking grasp instead of damage ruins. Gen.G DRX, Showmaker was MVP. Gen.G 2-0 over DRX. Chovy 19-3-11, 37% of damage. Pays 9-1-25 at 80 carry. Teddy 9-5-6 and 42% of damage in the loss as he tried to 1v9 and couldn't do it. Game 1, DRX were actually up 1.1k gold at 11:15 when the first turret dropped. 13 CS lead for the bot duo. But despite those grub spawns, despite going mid a couple times and getting Satab in a decent position at Chovy, it just simply wasn't enough. Pays on the Senna, raining down damage. Chovy on the Azir, nice shuffles. He was not going to be denied. He was like, okay, well, we're just going to take care of this now. I know we gave you, an 11-minute window where you felt like you were in the game, and Chovy said that's not going to happen anymore. We're done here. Keen playing very well in this series also. Just kind of under the radar. Canyon in Game 2 very strong. At 12 minutes, Gen.G up almost 5k gold. 37 CS lead for Chovy, 30 CS lead for Pays and Lahens. Canyon on the Lee Sin everywhere. Chovy on the Azir, once again, raining havoc. Creating havoc into DRX. Teddy on the Varus did get a couple kills. Actually, a few kills, to be honest. Ends up with 9 for a reason. And was effective, kind of slowing down Gen.G, if you will. I mean, a 5k gold lead at 12 minutes is quite sizable, so to slow anybody down at that pace is, admirable. Now, Gen.G did say, okay, well, we're done with this now, Teddy. We're going to, end this game, and they did. Sneak peek for tomorrow. LGD FPX, LGD 2-4, lost to JDG. FPX 3-3, beat LNG. Last time they played, FPX won 2-0. Half the starters are the same. Care 4-5-12, 26% of damage in the win. Haichao 4-2-2, 23% of damage in the loss. Team Wii and IG. Team Wii 4-2, beat EDG. IG 5-1, beat BLG. Last time they played, Team Wii would win 2-0. Half the 6 out of 10 starters are the same. Iwandi 1-3-30, 4% of damage. Wink 1-8-13, 5% of damage. Supports are the only matchup that is the same. Top Esports LNG. LNG Hung is playing. Mark is benched. Top are 4-1, beat RNG. LNG 2-4, lost to FPX. Last time they played in playoffs, LNG won 3-1. 6 of the 10 starters are the same. Gala 25-4-14, 32% of damage. Jackie Love 19-13-12, 30% of damage on the losing end. LCK, KDF, and Brion, the last series of the first round robin. KDF 5-3, beat FearX. Brion 0-8, lost to Nongshim. Last time they played, Brion would win 2-1. Half the starters are the same. Morgan and Karas went 19, 10, and 33 with 57% of damage in the win. Dudu and Bulldog 12, 16, 20, 52% of damage in the loss. Then the first series of our second round robin is Nongshim HLE. Nongshim 2-7, lost to T1. HLE 7-2, beat KT. When they played a couple weeks ago, HLE would win 2-1. Doran had the most damage, going 13, 3, and 8, 32% in top lane. Din 2-5-3, 18% of damage in the loss. So that's it for your daily dose of LOL Esports content. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.